Hi, Maria here. Welcome to my channel. Today I am excited to share with you 10 perfumes that I believe that men really enjoy smelling. So before we get started, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, just go ahead and do it. Just hit that subscribe button. Become part of the Weird Wonderful family. I would love for you to join. And if you come week after week, whether you're subscribed or not, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it so much. Like, seriously, thank you so much. Like, without you guys watching, I wouldn't be growing, and it's really fun. Like, I'm really having a fun time. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And without further ado, let's get into this. So I think the first thing to remember about guys, at least in my understanding, if you're a guy, correct me if I'm wrong, but guys, most guys, like guys that are really into perfumes, they may look at things a little bit differently, but most guys really enjoy, I would say, one of two things, or both. They enjoy sweet, you know, kind of delicious, almost food-like smells. So anything that's quite sweet, foodie, I think that guys tend to gravitate towards it. Something smells a little edible, that sort of thing. So that's number one. Number two is, I believe most men enjoy smelling feminine smelling perfumes on women. So, you know, they may like masculine type smells on themselves, but for women overall, I find that when it's, you know, generally kind of in a feminine category, men will tend to gravitate towards it. And if you have feminine and sweet, that makes it all the better. So for like scents, or for fragrance that I think a guy would gravitate towards on a woman, I would steer clear from like the unisex fragrances for the most part, and just go with kind of more feminine, sweet, that sort of thing. So you wear whatever you want, and if you're a guy, please comment, tell me what you prefer to smell on a woman. Maybe most guys don't even like perfume and they're just putting up with it. That's, I think, the case for my husband. But anyway, these are ones that I've noticed men tend to enjoy. So without further ado, let's just move on to the fragrance. The first one I want to share with you is Aqualina Pink Sugar. Now this one is so affordable. You can get it for $20 or under. And this one just smells kind of like a little bit of a burnt sugar smell, not very complicated. I have another one that's similar, and it's Germain Sexual Sugar. And I'm not really crazy about that name, but it smells very similar to Pink Sugar. So these both just kind of smell straight up like a burnt sugar, cotton candy, sponge sugar, that sort of smell. So these are both really nice. So yeah, they're my most affordable option on this list. But they're not my favorite. Like, I know lots of people like this one. I just find it is borderline headache inducing for me, but I wanted to share it. I think I actually like this one. This one's a little bit more powdery. This one's actually technically more complicated, but the Germain one is a little bit powdery, and for whatever reason, I can handle this one more than I can handle the Pink Sugar, but these are both great options. The next fragrance I find men really enjoy is Dolce Gabbana's Femme. So this one is just really light, airy. It smells a bit marshmallowy to me. It's very light and sweet, and so it's not overpowering. This one's a great one for kind of nestling up or cuddling. One of the main notes that people smell is raspberry, and then the other note is marshmallow. I don't notice the raspberry. I wish I did, because I'd love to smell that raspberry in it, but I do get the marshmallow, and to me it just smells really light and fluffy, and it's not overpowering, but it's very comforting and a great snuggle scent. The next one that I find guys really like is Hugo Boss The Scent Private Accord. Now this one, Jeremy Fragrance, hyped it all up. I love Jeremy Fragrance when he goes like this. Or no, he usually goes like this. It smells both the caps, and it kind of reminds me of Mary Catherine Gallagher, but I appreciate it a lot. He's very intense, but he seems to like this scent. I would have to agree. I love this. It's this powdered chocolate. Smells a little bit like a By Terry's chocolate orange. I've heard a few other perfumes described like that. Like I think chocolate greedy is one, but maybe I'm wrong. But it seems to me that there's a couple that are out there circulating that smell like a By Terry's chocolate orange. This to me does too. It's more of a milk chocolate, but it smells like you've taken a milk chocolate bar and you've grated it into powder. So it's just really fine chocolate. And then if you stick that in your mouth with some orange, that's what you get. So I find this one delicious. Again, this is a great snuggle scent. And yeah, you smell like a snack. And really, that's what I find most men tend to enjoy, is that sweet, kind of like not overpowering, but the sweet, uncomplicated fragrances men tend to enjoy. So this one, highly recommend. So those are all my kind of main food ones. I've got one other one here, and it's called Dolce Gabbana, The Only One. So this fragrance has bergamot, orange, and violet in the top notes. In the mid, it has coffee, pear, iris, orange blossom, and rose. So there's a little bit of a powder to it. I definitely smell that orange blossom. I don't so much smell the pear, but I do smell a little bit of that a little bit of that coffee, a little bit of the powder, a little bit of the orange blossom, and it smells just really quite sweet and delicate to me. The base notes are caramel, vanilla, and patchouli, and I definitely get the caramel and the vanilla. So what this comes across as is like it's a little bit similar to black opium, as far as you get a little bit of a coffee hit, some of that orange blossom. I don't really notice any rose, don't notice the pear, but I get a little bit of that powder from the violet and the iris. And then in the dry down, you get that vanillic caramel really coming out to the forefront. So this one's really pretty. It's really sweet, delicious, tasty, edible. So this one is a hit. I do find, like I said, that this one is similar to black opium. Maybe black opium fans would be really angry with that comparison, but they do share some similar notes and kind of a similar vibe. So if you have black opium, you may not need this one, but if you have black opium and love it, you may want to give this one a try as well, because it's just another option kind of in that same genre of scent. So check this one out. The next fragrance I want to share with you is kind of leaving the gourmand section, and it's just a classic, but I find that men tend to really enjoy this one, and it's Coco Mademoiselle by Chanel. Now this one is probably a little bit more fresh. Oh, even just smelling it. If I smell Coco Mademoiselle, I have to take a moment. I just love it. It's got your bergamot. It's essentially a warm citrus. So I don't think of lemon or anything like that. I think of like kind of orange, just a warm orange flavor, like as if I were in Florida and I plucked an orange from the tree and peeled it, and you smell that little bit of warmth from the peel and the air. That's kind of what it reminds me of for whatever reason. And then as it dries down, you get some florals like jasmine and rose, and then in the dry down you get your oak moss and I think there's vetiver in it, vanilla, patchouli, all those notes come to play. So this is a warm, spicy, well, technically it's a sheep, but yeah, it's beautiful, it's sophisticated, it's light enough that it's not overpowering, but it's sweet enough that it's alluring. So even though this one's more classy and more maybe daytime, I find that this one is definitely something that men enjoy. So the next fragrance I have to share with you is La Vie Est Belle by Lancome. Now this one is a major hit globally for a good reason. It's just a beautiful fragrance. It's juicy, it's delicious, it's a little bit thick and syrupy, it projects well, it lasts long, and men really enjoy this one. This one in the opening has blackcurrant and pear. In the mid, it has iris, orange blossom, and jasmine. So you get that floral, but again, there's just a hint of powder in it, just slightly to kind of soften it. And then in the dry down, you get tonka bean, vanilla, praline, and patchouli. So this one is quite patchouli heavy, but that said, it's just beautiful. It's sweet, it's delicious. It's still like floral, but it's quite intoxicating. And yes, men tend to love this one as well. Yeah, it's really pretty. So this one's a great one. The next one that's kind of in the same sort of genre would be Mon Guerlain by Guerlain. Now this would be the one, you know, that my husband, every time he smells this one, he says it smells nice. This one's an interesting fragrance because it has lavender in the opening, and then it has licorice in the base. And I actually do notice that licorice. So this one's a little bit different, but the lavender just kind of makes it feel really warm and cozy. It has iris, jasmine, and rose in the mid. And then it has Tahitian vanilla, coumarin, Australia sandalwood, benzoin, licorice, and patchouli in the base. And so I definitely get that little hint of licorice, but it's just a really warm, sweet fragrance. I think that this one is super classy. Like honestly, Mon Guerlain and Vie Est Belle, they kind of are similar in a sense. I'd say Vie Est Belle is a little sweeter. The lavender cuts the sweetness on this one. This one is beautifully feminine. It's warm, it's sweet, it's comforting, slightly powdery, but I would never consider this a powdery scent. Longevity is great on this one as well, and I think it's beautiful. I just think when I think about fragrances like this, like Vie Est Belle and so on, I think class, sophistication, feminine, that sort of thing. When I think about fragrances like Perfume, The Only One, this one, when I think of fragrances like that, I think cozy, I think snuggling, I think edible. So, you know, those are kind of two different categories. Now I have three more to share here with you that I think are beautiful, that men tend to enjoy. And the first one is Dolled Up by Be Layered. This one is a tuberose, but it's like really sweet. It's floral, but it's got this beautiful sweetness. I can see people saying it's slightly bubblegummy. It's not a mature smelling tuberose. It's very sophisticated, very current. And I just think it's beautiful. If you get a chance to sniff this, this is an inspired scent by Yves Saint Laurent, Supreme Bouquet, and it is, you guys have heard about it a lot because I keep on talking about it. It's super, super, like it's one of my favorites for sure. But this one, definitely sweet. It's still feminine. It's a bit floral, but it smells like, it just smells a little bit sugary. So the last two fragrances that I believe men enjoy smelling is, first of all, La Belle by Jean Paul Gaultier. And I know you guys are probably sick of me talking about this one, but pear, vetiver, and vanilla. It smells again like a tasty dessert. It's super edible, very feminine. Like it's kind of like a syrupy sweetness. Doesn't smell sugar sweet. It smells warmer than a sugar. So sugar to me smells a little bit sharp. So something like this smells sharp to me. This smells warm and soft and voluptuous, I guess would be a good word for this one. So this one is beautiful. It's sexy. This is date night appropriate, everything appropriate. It's gorgeous. The last fragrance that I chose that I feel men really enjoy is Olympea. This one's Olympea Aqua, but it's very similar. So again, a really beautiful, sweet fragrance. This one has some jasmine in, so it's quite sexy. It's sweet, but then you get this little hint of salt in this one. So to me, this one smells like warm skin. And so like warm skin with a little bit of jasmine in there. So to me, this one is super intoxicating, very beautiful. It's sexy, it's feminine, but it also, with that salt note, just gives it a little bit of a skin-like nature and kind of, yeah, yeah, this one to me is alluring. So this one I feel like men really, really enjoy, I think because of that salt and it's smelling a little bit more like skin. So this one is beautiful. So that's it. That was my 10 fragrances that I feel men really enjoy. What are the scents that you find men really tend to enjoy on you? I would love to know. And yeah, Valentine's Day is right around the corner, so I hope that you enjoy. And other than that, that's it for today. Have an amazing week, and we'll talk to you soon.